Top of the morning, top of the morning. Move this over. Okay, I didn't move over a little bit. Wagwan, wagwan, wagwan. As you see my good brother Rios in the comments, he's on his way. Had to handle something real quick. We're just going to tap in real quick. And this relatable going to be a little different today. I think we're going to have some fun. And we got some real dope conversation um, going on. Let me handle some business with the wife real quick. Don't mind me. Give me 1 second. 1 second. Bam. Bam. To. From. All right, give me 1 second. Top of the morning, tap in, tap in. Wagwan, wagwan. Brian, what the deal? Cali grown trees, what's popping? What's popping? BZ Peace, what's good with it? Jen is definitely in the building. Breezy is definitely in the building. What's good? What's good, man? Let's get a good clap it up for everybody. Being here today. Welcome to Relatable. I'm one half host, Lucky, Bad Luck, Terrence, whatever you want to call me, however you see fit. My good brother AceBoyRios is on his way. He's handling a little business right now, but he's on his way. He's gonna lock in. We got a really good show for y'all today. And we going in today. We going in. You know, I got some questions I want to ask my good brother. I think we got a good dope conversation. And yeah, instead of it just being like, freestyle or hot topics and whatever's going on in the world of pop culture today, which is cool. You laugh and you joke, but I also want to tap into some real life. And we're gonna see how it play out. 253-206 is definitely in the building. Jen, what's goody? Yeah, so I'm excited about today, man. We going in today, and I think from the question, because I got a questions today. I'm prepared today. This is me in my professional setting, right? Today I'm actual co-host with prepared questions to ask. I'm gonna ask Rios, but it's really for both of us, and I feel like we're gonna have a great conversation back and forth, leaning into these questions, dealing with a certain issue, not issue. I'm sorry, dealing with a certain topic that I want to talk about. I feel like we can be this topic. I would say forces you to be one honest, um, hopefully transparent. I'm always transparent, but hopefully transparent, vulnerable, and real because it deals with family. So I think you guys are gonna get a lot of game today. Kevin Finley is definitely in the building. Let me see. Let me see. And who do we have here? My good brother, what's up, man?
What's going down, man? What's
I'm good,
happening?
man. I'm really happy to see you, bro. How you doing?
I'm happy to see you too, man. I'm good. We're just getting it in, working, trying to stay busy. Let's go.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. I was telling our wonderful community here how excited I am about the show today.
Okay.
Um, I'm, babe. Sorry, babe. Trying to call the wife. I don't think she hear me. Yeah, I'm or just a fellow Canelo hater.
Oh
The
shoot.
Sizzle Show is definitely in the building. True Feel is definitely in the building. Babe. Okay. I need some water. You know, I be needing my water on the side because, you know what I mean? So, well, first of all, welcome. Like I said, it's a Relatable Podcast. I'm one half of your host, one half of co-host. I'm Lucky. This is my other good brother, my man AceBoyRios is definitely in the building. And for a lot of y'all, you just seen him, I'm pretty sure, on the AM Wake Up Show. My brother is working overtime all the time. So he's going to stay on your screens, and what's dope about that is that's going to pay off in a major way because he's getting better, getting doper, getting more creative. It's only going to pay off for the best. How you feeling today?
I'm good, man. I'm
Good. How's
good.
the
Got
family?
my coffee. Got my coffee in. I got the shed. A shed being built by a contractor in the back.
Oh,
Got
word. Okay.
got the studio being built out, and so like in a month, I should be progressing to another level.
Word. So that's what the shed is for your studio, for your record. Your
The
office
shed,
space?
the shed is to like put all of my tools and all of my like
No. Man
gardening and
stuff.
yeah,
Man
exactly.
things. All your man things. Um, so today I wanted to do a different approach to our podcast, if that's okay.
Okay.
Right? I feel like we have a great, you and I, what we do well is bounce off each other, pause, right? With conversation, how we do jokes. We're very just go with it mentality, right? And how we do podcasting, which I think is really dope and hilarious and entertaining. But also, when it's time to go there, when it's time to go to something really deep, something beneath the surface, you and I are very good with going there and creating a safe space for us to know that I know when to turn the jokes off, and you know when to turn the jokes off, right?
Yeah.
You know, and even in that, even in those serious moments, I think we do well with knowing when to joke and how to lightly joke and how to keep the conversation entertaining. So for this topic today, I'm excited because I was saying before you got on, it kind of forces you to be honest, transparent, vulnerable, depending on how deep someone wants to go. Pause. And because this conversation is dealing with family, right?
Wait.
And
Before we go further, drop your Cash App in the chat and I'm gonna pin it up top. Or give me your Cash App so I can pin it for the people to hit your Cash App.
my Cash App and all the information for me and Rios is scrolling on the bottom as we speak. So appreciate that. I appreciate that.
So look, but the thing is, if you
You
pin
said
it,
pin it at the top though?
if you
Oh,
pin
at
it,
the top on YouTube. On YouTube.
yeah, and then that way
Okay.
they could just click that and they could Cash App you.
Yeah, how do I do that?
Just go to your Cash App and then put the link to your Cash App in the chat, and then I'm gonna pin it.
Go to my cash. Okay.
And then put it in the chat. And that way, when you put it in the chat, we'll go ahead and pin it to the top of the chat.
Never knew how to do that. Man, do I get my code or scan? Let me see. Oh, sorry. Copy. I'm gonna text it to you. If you know how to do it, right? I'm texting you.
Just
no?
put, like from your phone, go to YouTube and put it in the chat.
Oh, on YouTube. Okay. Hey man, y'all gotta excuse me. My bad. I'm not that smart when it comes to these kind of things. So. Oh, YouTube. Okay. Turn the volume down on that.
It's all good. And that way, then the message could get pinned.
Did I do it right?
You actually have to pin the message.
Oh, okay.
Now go to that and hit the 3 circles on the side on your computer and go to pin.
Oh. Y'all teach me something. I appreciate y'all. I gotta get out of the studio, right? Get out of the studio, go to my channel. Man.
No.
Well, because
in studio, you should still be able to see the messages in studio if you go to analytics.
Well, I'm here now.
Okay.
Yeah, man.
And you click those dots, it should give you there you go. Boom.
Boom, there it is. Well, okay, look at that. Y'all taught me something today.
Mm-hmm.
I appreciate y'all. Y'all teach me something all the time.
And then you can make it a hyperlink and put Lucc's Cash App, hit me on donations also. You know what I mean? So it doesn't have the HTTPS, but just hyperlink it.
You got to do that before next time, right? Before you post.
You can do it, yeah, before you post it, but you just
Yeah.
click the link and you hyperlink it. But you're good. That's good. They know what's up. They know what that is.
Okay. Hey man, I appreciate that. Thank y'all for real, really. Whoever said that, whoever asked, thank you. Appreciate that. So you want to get into what we're getting to?
Yeah, let's do it.
So this is the title, right? The title is, I don't know if you know, I don't know if you read it when I just sent you the code, but it's Marriage in the Spotlight, Misconceptions, Balance, and Real Talk with Lucc and AceBoyRios. All right?
Okay.
So that's how we starting off. And we're going to get right into it if that's okay.
I'm fine with that.
Boom, there it is. Okay, here we go. So, where's the question? Okay. So the first question, I don't know if I like it. I mean, first question is cool. Okay, if any, what's the biggest misconception people have about being married while working in an entertainment or content space?
What are some misconceptions or misnomers that people have of that? Oh, I really don't. I would say that I'll just categorize it with other things. It's not just the entertainment or the content space. It's that people automatically think that just because you've accomplished something or anything, it adds to the marriage, like adds power or like makes you stronger to marriage. Like no matter where you're at, no matter what position you are, your marriage is your marriage before you get anything. As you level
Right.
up, go in this department, go in this direction, your marriage is still your marriage. And if you have expectations that, oh, I'm going to garner more respect or I'm going to garner more of this when I do this, you're sadly mistaken. Because
Right. Yeah, for sure. For sure. For sure.
because guess what? It don't change a damn thing. No,
That's
it's
real
just,
life.
but it's just you're don't hang your marriage on anything that's like monetary, tangible things that are out there in your world. Your marriage is in your
Man,
house.
for
Your
real.
marriage is in your house. What happens outside of the house doesn't really garner you anything inside the house. What you do inside your house and how you walk and behave in your house is where everything is built. It's not built outside.
Right. Right. And it's tough because people tend to, they kind of cross the lines of both worlds, right? It's like you don't set any of your own boundaries within your own relationship between work and home, right? And that can go for no matter what job you have, or what you do, right? When you start to cross the two, it can get a little troubling depending on the topic or subject matter, whatever. And
Right.
I dig that. And I think one thing about the misconception is, well, you know what? Okay, I'll say one of the most popular, obviously, if you're saying entertainment. Now, content space may be new, right? It's a little newer. So if I'm speaking for the entertainment space, obviously the most popular one and cliche would be that people in entertainment are speaking for men, we cheat. We're going to cheat, right? So that's obviously one of the most popular ones, especially if you have any kind of popularity. And I don't mean money, just money. If you got money, if you got fame, if you're the most liked nigga in your crew, it's something come with that, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so that's one misconception, that being that you can't. It's almost like you as AceBoyRios can't control yourself in the world because you're in entertainment, because we know that a certain type of um, mentality is out to get you, whether it's thirsty niggas, whether it's niggas on some conniving wolf shit or women on some thirsty trying to get him away stuff, right?
Right.
Trying to do whatever, right? So it's almost like it's an insult to your discipline. You being a controller, you being a man who has control over his discipline, who can be like I can make money and thrive out here and be in the world and never touch another woman in my life other than my wife, right? Or you could go on tour. Say if this podcast get big enough, we got to go live. We got to hit about 6 cities somewhere doing a live tour, right? Like, why can't he be in another city and control himself? Like how?
Mm-hmm.
It's almost like, who do you think? Because in the grand scheme of things, when it comes to men and women, I'm not worried about overall how we're looked, right? I'm worried about how my wife looks at me and what she thinks about me.
Right.
Because if I judge us by the overall, I mean, it's no trust nowhere, right? If I go by the masses of, the same thing for women, So that's definitely a huge misconception with entertainment. Content space, like I said, is fairly new, but since we know like streamers are getting way more popular, a whole lot of money, and in the podcast space, people are getting bags. So a lot can come from that. Now your job can be anywhere. Now
Right.
for the people who already got trouble in their relationships, or maybe there's already a crack in there somewhere as far as trust, then that can be a little deepened with that. You
Yeah,
know what I
and
mean?
it's also what you bring, what you are in the moment is what you're going to be when you get things. Like say if you have a weakness or you're weak at something or you have something that's not good about you, a con that, oh, I have a problem with this, a problem with that. It's just going to be magnified when you get more access to whatever your problem is, right?
One
Like
hundred percent.
it's just going to add up. And it's not about what your strengths are in front of the camera, because what really tears it down are your weaknesses that are off camera. So
The real you.
the real you. So you'll get to promote your strengths on camera, but what's being attacked are your weaknesses when the cameras are off. And you
Yeah.
have to know that and be willing to fight the good fight and be a soldier for what you believe to be right. And you have to go in with self-awareness, knowing what you're strong and what you're weak at. Like I know I'm acceptable to this. I know I have a problem here. I have a problem drinking. I have a problem gambling. I have a problem whatever it may be. You have to know those things. You have to be self-aware, because when you get money or you get in the spotlight or you get celebrity or fame, it's just going to be magnified, because behind the scenes is where the stuff really happens when the camera's off.
Right. Right. Yeah. The real you. Right. The one you can't hide is going to come out eventually. um, the next question I have for you is, how do you balance being present for your marriage while also chasing the demands of creating content and staying relevant?
Yeah, like what is your priority? What's important to you?
Mm.
What is that conversation like? What are you keeping your wife or your husband or your partner? Are you keeping them up to date on the progress or your intentions? Are you communicating like, hey, this week I'm going to go hard and I'm going to be very dedicated to the craft, and you may not get as much time with me? Or are you just freestyling and just at the end of the week, you're like, dang, we didn't see each other this week?
Right. Yeah.
Versus setting
Yeah.
that week up on Monday, like, hey, babe, I'm doing this Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm going to be doing this and this and this. Are you being proactive in communication, or are you addressing it after the fact? Like, whoo, this week was crazy, huh? Like, yeah, it
Right.
was crazy. And I've been meaning to talk to you about that. You know,
Right.
and
That
so,
tone.
and then the weight of wanting to be successful and wanting to do well is always there, right? But if you just can understand that success comes with consistency. If I can just stay consistent in my walk, I could go hard for 2 months and work every day of my life for 2 months. And it won't garner me as much as if I stay consistent with my energy of 3 videos a week, or a video a day, and just do what I can and stay consistent with that for a year, versus
Right.
just going hard for 2 months and then taking a month off and burning yourself out. If you just are the tortoise in the race and not the rabbit, and you take your time to build what you want to build, you'll get what's coming your way. But you just have to be consistent and go after what you want, and don't be overexerting yourself and feeling like, oh, I gotta do this right now. I gotta do this. If I don't do this,
Yeah.
this is what's going to happen. If I don't go live now, this is going to nothing. If you have your calendar, if you stay organized and you stay on point and on track, and that's being shared across the board, your wife now has the prior knowledge of what your availability is.
For sure.
Once they
For
know
sure.
what your availability is, and they can't argue a calendar, like, well, shit, I'm not saying this is what I do, because this is where I'm weak, is the organization and organizing and being on schedule. But when you can point to it like, hey, I put it on the calendar there's that kind of like kills the argument. Like, don't be mad. Like, we should have talked about this well before then.
Yeah, yeah. You make I think I really resonate with your point about having that conversation, right? To your point, the most important thing is if you converse that, then everything else will be understood.
Yeah.
It's not about just saying like, yo, I gotta do the AM wake up show at every morning at 6, right?
Yeah.
You can say it, but if you're not having that like complete understanding of I'll do this at 6 and then I'll be done at this, and then I'll make sure I can take what's got to school, I can pick them up and I can do this. You're having that complete conversation, then in her brain she already knows that, okay, I know he gotta do that in the morning at 6 something, so I'm not gonna mess with him from 6 to 10, and then he's gonna take the kids here, bam. And then we know he also knows that. I mean, we also know that Saturdays may be for me or us or family day or whatever the case may be. Or we know that I don't want him podding on Friday nights, or I don't want him podding on maybe every other Thursday, whatever the case may be. But if you have that conversation, I think that's key
Yeah.
because you can just do it. And a lot of times with men, we like to. I can just say men. Anybody in super grind mode, we like to let the grind mode teach the lesson, right? Like, well, babe, you see, I've been recording every day. It's for us. I'm doing it for us. Yeah, but you're not conversing that. You're not. She don't understand. She just see it happening, and what she sees is you not being there, or you
That's
not.
what they do see. That's what they do see. I see the pile of clothes piling up over there. I see them.
Right.
I see you not being available for our Friday night therapy session, or this. This is what I do see. I see what you're not available for.
And how do you not, if you love this thing you're trying to create, which content creating, how do you not set a time? You got a schedule for everything else except me. Not that the wife necessarily wants to be scheduled, but you said the word prioritize. That's the key. What do you prioritize? You got all your schedule for all your things that quote unquote important to you, but where do I fit in? You trying to squeeze me in these little spaces, right? I start to not feel important. Now that's where none of your problems coming from.
Mm-hmm.
That the fact that I'm second place or third place to whatever you're trying to do,
right.
And I don't have to be if that's communicated. And you make me feel like that, yes, you're doing that because you got to take care of the family, but I'm also doing my necessary duties as a husband or a wife, depending on what,
Yeah.
I think.
And in your absence, what's happening in your absence? You know what I mean? Like what is taking place when you're absent and you're absent?
Damn, yeah. Yeah, for sure. Because now, and then if that trust is broken, then it's just a whole nother thing. A host of issues could be a problem.
Right.
Yeah.
Because your past behavior starts becoming what's more relevant because you're not even available now. So I can only think about who you were because I don't really get to deal with the you now. I'm just dealing with the memories of who you were.
That's deep. Damn. And you can get lost in that because what happens? Your brain
you start building a whole reality.
yeah. I was about to say, your brain start writing these stories, and these stories become real.
Right.
The brain is powerful, and then, that get tricky.
It gets real tricky, and it's like marriage is not easy, especially if you're not a caring person. You know what I mean? If you're not a caring person and you don't if you're not thoughtful and don't put other people before you, your marriage is going to be real hard because you have to put people before you and think like, let me take time to see how this made such and such feel, or how does this pan out for you? What does this look like for us, in your opinion? You just it's just communication for real.
For sure. And that, damn. I mean, it's funny, this conversation, I start thinking in my actual life on spaces where I could have chose a better way to speak about something, or relay a message, or explain my grind, explain what I'm doing, instead of saying, hey, I'm at a studio. Hey, could you bring my other bottle of water, please? Thank you. Especially when I used to rap, it just used to be like, I'm in I'm in a studio, I'm rapping, but no. And then also the environment that I'm seeing, the what you're rapping about, you're speaking on a certain environment, and I'm never around this environment at the time when I was living a little more wild, right? So now you're gone, you speak about this type of environment, I'm never there, you're never here. So thank you. Is that environment real? And if it is, we have another problem.
Right. Have you
You know?
built your have you fortified your garden so strongly that when other people try to drop seeds in your garden, it rebukes those seeds? You know what I mean? Because in your absence, there's other seeds being dropped in your garden.
My wife, hey, my wife, I looked at my wife when you said that. I said, you heard him? My wife was like Pastor Rios just showed up.
Like,
I'm saying, wait, what?
have you
One more,
fortified
hey,
your
that was deep.
garden
One
so
more time.
strong that when you're absent and other seeds, people are trying to throw seeds in your garden, is it rebuking those seeds? Or are those seeds taking place and you're so far gone and so far removed, you're not catering, you're not watering your garden. So now these seeds are growing and they just as big as the ones that you drop now. And they're maybe start
Wow.
outweighing or choking out your garden. And now a new garden being built off seeds that being dropped by another woman, another parent, another such and such. And there's
Wow.
doubt now. There's this now. And now I got something else to look at because I can't look at you as I look at your garden. All it does is remind me of the lack of you.
Wow. And that's huge. First of all, that was cold the way you worded that. I'm definitely gonna flip that. I'm definitely clipping that for sure. That was cold. Damn. And it's funny because when you have these conversations, you argue from a point of like, this is my perspective of how I'm looking at it. But the whole time, look what you've built. You know what I mean? And then look what you allowed to happen. And all I can see is that now. I almost don't even hear you.
Right.
I can just see what you produced.
And that's not even public perception. That's not even the guy that's walking by or the girl that's walking by. Like, damn, they ain't been watering that garden. I know exactly what that garden needs.
I know exactly what that. Wow. Hey, that's so cold. And that's okay. I mean, we stand here, but we're gonna go off a little bit because
Okay.
what you just said, you that I told my wife one day, right? Me and my wife were talking. We were saying, what makes the side chick so dangerous,
Mm-hmm.
right? And it wasn't no big scientific discussion about what we thought about that. We both was pretty much like, well, the side chick knows exactly what he needs and what he lacks because men sometimes sometimes it's on us about what we lack and what's not going on, right? It's like women know when you're not getting fed at home, right? Men make jokes about that, or they make jokes about the lack of sex, or they ain't had sex in a while, or they may be joking about that on Instagram for some kind of whatever they're doing, because
Mm-hmm.
we do all this stuff for attention, right? But the lady on the side who wants everything you have, she's like oh, or she'll violate. She'll violate just to see how you'll take to it, right? Say you go to work, say you not in content creating, you go to actual work somewhere in a building, and then lady in the other cubicle come bring you a plate for whatever. I want you to try my whatever chicken, whatever. And you like, damn, this is bomb, man. A home cooked meal. Like your reaction to that is like, oh, he don't get those.
Yeah. Yeah.
And she got all the time in the world. It's because she want to make it seem like she's better than your wife, right? But she got all the time in the world because she ain't got nobody,
Right.
right? And your dumb ass start to look like, dang, she do cook all the time, right? Not knowing your wife got kids also. Both of y'all got duties with the kids. Y'all got house duties. You content create. She got a job. Y'all got to bring finances together, work it out. She got family, friends. You got family, friends. So she can't necessarily cook Monday through Sunday, right? Like so, in a work wife will make it seem like she ain't doing enough.
Right.
And because you having a hissy fit sometimes, like men do, you know, oh, you ain't cook tonight, man, you never cook, whatever. And I'm like, nigga, what? You know,
The
so
side chick's job is so easy, or the side dude's job
easy.
is so easy because it's like, you mean to tell me I only got to be excellent at 10% of what's needed? Like I just got to be great at 10%? Oh shit.
That's it.
You are mad at your wife or you mad at your husband because not because of the 90% or the 85% that they're doing well. You're focused on the 15% that you're not getting. And that becomes the focal point. And now the side person, all they got to do is be great at 15% of what a relationship
That's
is.
it.
A side chick is like, shit, I can have 7 relationships like this.
For sure. It's
Like,
loaded math. Think about it. It's loaded math. Think about this. She, like you said, I only got to be good at 10 or 15% of this thing, of one thing, one or two things, right? And you start telling yourself, dang, I'll never argue with her. Nigga, you don't even spend time with her. Like, if you spent
You don't
5
have the
straight days with
opportunity
her,
to argue.
you don't have the opportunity to do that. You going over, you dealing with her at a certain type of time, doing a certain type of thing, and then you gone, right? So you think she perfect,
Right.
right? But here's the thing, and I mean this in the most respectful place that this is all of us. You thought the same thing about your wife. She thought that
Mm-hmm.
about me, about you
Yeah.
too.
Right.
We thought when we all met and she's cool, she cool, he cool. We wouldn't even argue. We have a great time because y'all getting to know each other. Everything's great in those times. Everything's smooth. We ain't got nothing to argue about. I don't even know you. I ain't live with you. I don't know your habits. I don't know your things, right? And just because we do end up knowing these things, and then we have our little tips where sometimes I don't like you, but I'll never stop loving you.
Right.
And most of the time I do like you, but sometimes you get on my nerves, right? But that's a part of being like people. Hell, sometimes one of my best homies, sometimes he get on my damn nerves. That's my dog, right? So you look at you start to do that loaded math on what that's like. And for her, to your point, which is a great point, is she only got to be good at two things: cooking and sex.
That's it.
And she don't
And
even cook every day.
some is just one.
Some is just one.
Just one.
You know what I mean? Now that's a great point. That's an awesome point. Why yeah, for sure. So I have being in the public. So I'll ask you this mainly about because your podcast is ran a certain kind of way, right?
Mm-hmm.
All of your platforms that you run solo are ran a certain kind of way. So maybe I'm not necessarily expecting because people. I mean, I'm not respect. People are looking at you different in different settings, right? So, but this question I'll ask for being a long time Ace Boys Worldwide member,
Okay.
guest on show. The environment's a little different, right? So, has being in the public eye ever put pressure on your relationship? If so, how did you and your partner handle it?
Well, absolutely. Like saying like public eye is talking about Ace Boys Worldwide. Like I'm gonna just use that as the
For
public
sure,
eye, right?
for
Like
sure.
being watched, being talked to, chatted to, and then like the energy of what the show was. It was it was like excuses or reasoning that I had to justify a lot of stuff. Like, hey, I'm doing this to do this. But as I'm saying that, I'm the only person who believes what I'm saying because
Right?
I'm the
Yeah.
only one that knows my conviction and my discernment towards what I want out of this. Because the partner, all they can see is what the energy is and what is taking place. They don't have the benefit of being inside of your heart or understanding your thought process.
Yeah.
Oh, he really does want to do this, or this is really what he wants to do. And then allowing them to have the grace to judge you based off your history. You know what I mean? Like allow them grace to have doubt based off your history. Like shoot, like Ace Boys Worldwide, a lot lesser men would have folded in that with that access. A lot of lesser men would have folded and fell into the traps of what was there. But God gave me the strength to just be like, you know what? This is for a reason. You're doing this for this. You're not doing this for a short-term benefit. You're not doing this for just a feel-good moment. Because what happens after that? This is just you have short-term goals and you have very selfish goals. Like, are you trying to do something to build your family? Are you trying to do something to build your ego?
Right.
And really, what I was doing was trying to build my family. But there was points and times in there where I was getting a little too comfortable with what was going on or a little too hungry to succeed. So, I got to do a little more to get this going faster because I'm dealing with this at home and I need to hurry up and finish this shit at home and get out of this. But the catch 22 was I had to be more available there to get up out of there so I could stop dealing with the issue at home or the conversation at home, which
Right. Yeah.
it was just stacking on top of each other. You know what I mean? And it was like, I'm just here. I'm just doing this. I could care less. And it's just the optics, you know what I mean? And then you have to think about what your partner is dealing with, like who they're dealing with, who they're talking to. Like we said, the seeds in the garden. Nigga, that garden looked like it was being ravaged by crows because what was happening on
Right,
camera, and it's like, babe, this is just camera. This is just a podcast. It's just content. Yeah, to you it is, but to me, it's
right.
real. This ain't no
Yeah,
sitcom. This ain't no scripted thing. And you have to be able to be strong enough to survive that shit. And it definitely is pressures in that, like, okay, I got people watching. I need to keep it entertaining. I got to keep it active. And it's that, but like, how important is that?
yeah. It's tough. I would imagine it's tough because though I've changed, though you've changed, and we have certain kind of things going on in our life where our boundaries are set in a certain kind of way. But I also can do this. What I'm doing now, who I am in my body today, I can do that in any space, right? But what happens is that it's no longer about trusting you. She trusts you, and they trust me, But it's like, but everything around you is opposite in a
Hmm.
sense of what we
Hmm.
made us on camera, in a sense. And what happens when like my wife starts looking at me like, well, it's secondhand embarrassment at this point
Right.
because though I trust you, everybody know you married, and everybody know you on that show, and then girls come in there and they twerking and they doing all this stuff drunk and they drunk and all over people and you know what I mean, and then messing with each other and flirting, and then the homies just turned up because they have the legal right to be turned up. You know
Right.
what I mean? And it's like you there, like you okay, you didn't touch nobody, you didn't flirt with nobody, you didn't all these things, but you there.
Hmm.
And the flip side is always like, what if she was there?
Hmm.
Not with you in her own setting where that's going
Yeah.
on with it. You know what I mean? And then so to answer that question, I dealt with that pressure when I was rapping heavily in the studio because that was around. That was what was around. The only difference is I indulged in a lot of it.
Hmm.
Like I paid for all my crimes,
Yeah.
right? And and at that point, I wasn't who you are today, right? I was reckless,
Hmm.
and I couldn't be in a space like that and not have. So, and hell, to keep it 100, I was part of the reason who created that space. Helped create that space. I wasn't just a visitor. I helped
Right.
create that kind of space where they came through. They bought the mollies. They bought the E. They turned up. The weed is there. They know after a certain amount of time, we ain't really recording. We just listening to music and turning up. You know
Right.
what I mean? And I was there to 1, 2, 3 every morning, and then you know what I mean? So it almost lost my wife because of it. So
Right.
yeah, that pressure is real, and I was reckless in that pressure, and then had to change because I almost lost my everything because of that pressure. So yeah, that pressure is real. Which the reason now why I wouldn't put myself in that kind of surroundings for that, especially for that amount of period of time, where it's
Right.
like a continuous thing of just being here in a setting where all this crazy stuff go down. You know,
Right.
so
And the part that people don't talk about is what about if one day it wasn't a great day for your marriage? Well, one day it wasn't a great day. You didn't have a great day with your wife or a great week with your wife, and then you're heading off to go to Ace Boys Worldwide around these beautiful women that are talented, doing all the things that they're doing, and now your wife is like, "Damn, we didn't have a good week, or we
right,
got into an
right.
argument, and now he's around this." And there's all this temptation, but really what it let me know is that how strong of a person and how strong God is in my life. You know what I mean? Like for me to be able to navigate the waters with blood in the water and sharks all around and me able to get out of that clean. You know what I mean? Like, and not have to fall into that. And that really was God showing me like, no, you're built to move forward.
Yeah.
I put you in the toughest situation that I know is tough for you. Alcohol is around, women are around. And the way, like, and then like I have an easy personality to get along with. Like I laugh, I'm joke, and so
Hmm.
I'm not like overdoing things. So it's like naturally just gravitated towards. But I didn't even falter at one time or one point, and that just showed me how good God is. Like I could go through the shadow of the valley of death. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And come out on top and proud of myself. Because even with temptation and even with doubt on me and maybe arguments or disagreements, I could have easily fell into any of those traps and just been like, you know what, I'm gonna take the easy way out. But I didn't.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
stayed strong and said, you know what, I mean what I say, and I'm gonna build what I need to build out of what this is. And I did. You know, and it's just like that's something that I could look back on and say, I did a good job. I
For
did
sure.
what God wanted me to do. You know what I mean? Like I got out of there and learn from it and have more confidence in myself.
No, I think that's first respectable and definitely deserve an applause for being able to um, like go through the fire and come out clean. Understand that that is a fire. I
Hmm.
mean, it is a fire, and I did make it through. And I'm proud that I made it through. I'm proud that I made it through. I'm proud that I stood down and did what I was supposed to do, and it didn't cost me my everything
Right.
because people make them mistakes all the damn time. So yeah, man, that's that pressure is real. It's real, but you grow, you learn, you change. I don't feel that kind of pressure nowadays. Right? It's funny when see, here's the thing too. When your mentality changes about how you want to live your life, then everything else changes around it. Because if you see for yourself a certain kind of living of you want to do, right, then it keeps you out of certain kind of places and puts you in other places,
Hmm.
right? Or it keeps you from around certain type of people and puts you around other people. It makes you say no's to what you used to would say yes to,
Yeah, for
and
sure.
it helps you. Sometimes it helps you change the way you look at value and what you value, right? You can look back and be like, that used to serve me at one point, but it didn't serve me no good. So it
Right.
no longer serves me at all. And I think that should be. You told me when I told the story about how I got into it with the racist white guy at UPS store. I was hard on myself about what I didn't do, and then you told me that I already won because of what I didn't do.
Right.
Right? you know, so my whole way of looking at that was off because I'm technically looking for the old me to show up, and you were saying, "No, nigga, the new you is what showed up.
Right.
That's what you worked so hard to be, the new you. But you too busy looking back,
Hmm.
so you ain't counting your wins.
Right.
But I'm gonna count your wins. I'm gonna tell you where you won at, and I appreciate you saying that because even in life now, I look at things in that way now. Kind of like now it's up front now instead of me second guessing it. It's like yeah, I know because I know who I am and I know what I'm supposed to do and what I'm supposed to be doing. So it ain't necessarily that much of a fight. Now I'm human. You got your slips and your things, right? But that perspective can be applied to anything,
That's why
especially
perspective is so important. You know what I mean? Because we could be walking through life and passing these tests and not even paying attention to the tests that we're passing that should build our confidence in our capabilities. You know
right.
what I mean? Like I should be walking with my chest up, my head out because of all the tests that I've passed. How can you be confident in your walk and what you do if you haven't passed any tests?
Yeah,
You could say I'm the best nurse or I'm the best this and I've read this much. Yeah, but have you been tested? Has
but
life
have you
been
been
thrown
tested?
at you to where you have to use that skill that you say you've garnered or gained? And that's what we have to pay attention to because perspective will let you know, like, yes, that was a test. I realized what that was and I got through it. Now I'm walking to the next test more confidently with a history of beating it. You know what I mean?
Mm,
Like, and now you're
yeah,
going in through
yeah.
life more confident because you see, like, all these obstacles, all these hurdles I jumped over. This is just one. I got 30 behind me.
Damn, you just reminded me of something. That's you, and yeah, that's the way because that's how your confidence stays up. You've been there before. You experienced that. I beat that before.
I beat it before.
I beat that
I
before.
actually got stronger when I beat that.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
actually better. I'm better now than I was before I beat that thing.
Damn, that's good game right there, man. That's good game right there. Um, how? Let me see. What? Oh, let me see. What boundaries do you and your spouse set to keep your marriage healthy while still sharing parts of your life online?
Wait, say that one more time. Say it one more
What boundaries do you and your spouse set to keep your marriage healthy while still sharing parts of yourself online?
time. That shit, that
Because you
shit
and I
got
have been very vulnerable, very transparent with our community.
like that has been set way before a camera was even turned on.
Right. For
That
sure.
was set, was understood, don't gotta be explained.
Right,
Like
right.
that was established well beyond. I know what is and what isn't. You know what I mean? Like there's just certain
Yeah,
things that we've
yeah,
established, but this is built off respect. It's built off respect for your partner and love for your partner. I never want you to be in a position of hurt, you know what I mean? A position of
yeah.
pain or something that I've caused because I'm just willy-nilly just flying off the cuff with information and saying things. You know what I mean? I'm always going to protect you in that light. I don't ever want anybody looking at you in a bad light because you are my light. Like first off, like I don't want
Right,
I I I cherish my light. You know what I mean? And my wife is my light. Like she's literally my emergency light in the darkest times. You know what I mean? Like why would I do anything to darken the light that saves my life when there's no lights?
right.
This is my survival. Like this light that I have in my life when everything is out, that's the light that is guiding me. Like why am I going to do anything to darken her light? Like nah, I'm good.
Yeah, you can't, we know that one thing, women are very vocal about not embarrassing them. Right? So one, don't embarrass them. I think when I took the position to start potting, my first podcast was years ago. First had a podcast on Dash Radio. Um, I don't know how long ago that was, but it was very early on in stages as far as podcasting goes. Um, and I had about 3 or 4 podcasts since then. But the conversation I had early on was, um, I'll never embarrass you, obviously, because I'm very transparent, but I'll never embarrass you. And I had to have another conversation when I more, closer to now, closer to the now, last 5 years, I had to have another conversation with my wife because prior to that, we had just gotten to that our thing where I was um, messing around, infidelity, dealing with my infidelity
Yeah,
stuff, and right before I changed everything, changed my life and everything, and so after that, I always used that moment for my testimony, but only if she would give me the green light to tell it, right? Because it's a lot when you say you was doing this, you was doing this, you was doing all these things, and then your wife forgave you, and then you guys trying to work it out, right? Because a couple things happen. One, she may be embarrassed about it. You know what I mean? That's a reality for some people. She may be embarrassed. Not necessarily from like
she's a
we
victim.
dealt with our things. She's a victim, and we dealt with our things, but embarrassed because how other women can look at her, right? Especially if I'm talking on the internet,
Yeah,
because you start to give leeway to, girl, you stupid, I never took him back, and you crazy, and niggas always want to cheat, and then when they get caught, then they want to straighten up, and you got to go through so much to be happy, all these things. And I know I'm using the voice, but I also understand
right.
because that happens a lot. It happens a whole lot where somebody was a F boy. I was that. I was an F boy, and then I learned my lesson. I damn near lost everything.
Yeah,
And what's crazy is, no matter how anybody feels about it, that's usually when you get your awakening, right? It's like if I was gang banging and then I finally get shot and I live, sometimes it's like, wait, hold up, I need to be doing something else with my life because I
right.
almost lost it just now. So you don't have the same tone when it comes to gang banging, or you don't have the same tone when it comes to, I've drank too much and then boom, now your liver, you in the hospital, you about to die, and then you survive because God pulled you through, and then you get your life together, and then you kick alcohol. You don't have them same sentiments then,
Yeah, because
right?
that's the test. The test isn't only about passing it. Sometimes
That's
it's
what I'm
about
saying.
failing that test.
That, for sure, right? So, and I'm not saying that to buck back.
Right.
I deserve every kind of vitriol anybody wants to give me, right? The only vitriol that actually matters in my actual life, though, is my wife if she wants to give me that.
Yeah.
But my one thing my wife will never have to do, she'll never have to worry about that Terrence ever again in life. Period. So that's one thing I never ever worry about, right? Because I understood that this is a possibility where you're gonna have to be working on your trust forever,
Right.
like forever. And I'm fine with that because I love her and I hope she loves me to the end of time because I love her to the end of time. And I'm willing to work on that forever, But also, she don't have any kind of problems with me. It's funny, this is the first time in my life since in the last 5 years, she has my phone code and she don't even use it. And she forgot it, but she keep forgetting it. Every time I tell her go on my phone to get something, she got to ask me for the code. I'm like, babe, I gave it to you.
Right.
You have it.
Right.
And she's like, man, I don't remember that code. And it's
Right.
funny because I changed my life. It changed how she looked at me. Because back in the day, what? You know what I mean? Are you serious? So, yeah, man. So the boundaries had to be set. I had that conversation to let her know that if it's okay, I'll be talking about this for the sole purpose of my testimony. Because it
Mhm.
has to be said, yes, I was a fuck boy nigga. Period. I was that. I'm not that no more, and I regret being that. But I live for first of all, first God first, and then I live for my family second. And so that's the life I live now. You know what I mean? So it's like I tell that story to let people know, like, yeah, man, I was that and I ain't that. I was that and I ain't that. And I almost lost it. And that's my testimony. Thank God. I thank God every day she didn't say, no, I'm done.
Mm-hmm.
Every day I thank God. No, she could have been like, no, it's over. I'm cool.
And then, like, that's the funny thing is, we'll be forgiven in our darkest times in our relationship. And then, not saying us in general, like really,
Right.
but
Mm-hmm.
and then go out in life and be out there in the world and not be a forgiving person. Like,
Now, see, that's a whole. That's now. Now you back to Pastor Rios again. Now you back to Pastor Rios again.
and then you walk out into this world and not be a forgiving person when you've been forgiven for the darkest shit in your relationship, and you want to walk out here into this world and be like, nah, that's not cool.
That,
Nah.
the gall to judge in that way.
Yeah, I'll never mess with that person. You're not forgiving people. You're not giving people second chances. When
That's
you have
crazy,
benefited, your whole life has benefited from somebody giving you a second chance.
but it started because Christ gave us a second chance.
It all started off second chances.
It started off second chance.
Like your wife done gave you the she's breathed life back into you. When she could have took it out. She could have took the life out and said, nah, I'm gonna leave you out there.
That's
And then
it.
you go
Yeah.
out here and be like, nah, man. What? What?
That's crazy.
But
And
that's what they say, how you give people grace. How you give people grace
yeah.
is by the grace that you've been given grace. Remember I told you that the story of like my wife was sleeping next to her trauma.
Yeah.
Her trauma was in the bed with her, sleeping right next to her. Her worst trauma. And
Yeah.
she still had the God in her and the God in her to forgive her trauma as she's dealing with the trauma that her trauma caused in her. Like, and she's
Right.
has that, like, that's only God.
With that grace, man, people abuse it a lot of times. First of all, and that grace, you got. First of all, you have to understand that your hope. Well, you said it already. Your whole purpose in being here is because of the grace, right? And everything I've been through, even with my wife, was because of the grace. And everything I've been through, I mean, in my life with many of maybe friends, my family, whatever, is because of grace.
Right.
Right? I'm here today because of grace. I'm actually alive because of grace. So to get out of this world and be an unforgiving person, Christ is looking at you like I died to take on all y'all debt, and none of you deserve it.
And you tripping because your pinky toe hurt.
You tripping because that person said something and you're behind your back.
You got stub toe.
Come on, man. Come on, man. And, hey, that's real talk, man. Yeah, that's real talk. Where do you want to go? Okay. Mm. Okay. Do you think this is interesting right here? Do you think fans or followers sometimes blur the line between your content persona and your real relationship?
I don't think so with me because I don't have a content persona. You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, and that's made my life real easy. Is like being able to be exactly who I am. You know what I mean? Like my followers and my chat and people who support me have given me grace and allowed me to be exactly who I am, and they've shown me that they appreciate that. And they've clocked me sometimes and said, "Hey man, you've fallen from what you've been doing and how things are going." And they'll let me know. And that is a weapon, like that's a tool, a weapon for me to use against the enemy. Like, no, I get to be me.
Yeah.
Like, I get to be me. I don't gotta shuck and jive and dance a jig for nothing. I don't value what y'all value over there. I don't value that. I don't value what you think you need to do to get to where you want to get to and what you want to have. I have life, I have God, I have my wife, and my family, friends, and that are out here on the internet that are supporting me are letting me be me. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Because I'm confident enough to be myself. Be brave enough to be yourself. And I am. So,
No, that's real. Damn. I think, and what's funny is though that question is a really good question, that's the easiest thing to answer for a person who's just being them.
right.
I've done fighting depression in my own lives. I've done fighting depression. I've done relatable where y'all see hell today's show is me and you just being me and you. And even when we're clowning, joking, and having a fun back and forth, it's still all a part of us. No mask on, no differences in, when you talking to Ed Waker show, it's real conversations. Really you, real life. You doing your IRLs with real family. You can't even not be you standing next to your mama. You
Right.
can't not be you standing next to, so I think for that question, um, for that, I think, well, here's the thing. That's why it's such a great thing because you know what to expect from your community. And you know what to expect when you're outside and if you run into somebody from your community.
Right.
Like they it's understood of it's understood on who you are as a person and how to be approached, right? And to not disrespect you.
Right.
Y'all can joke. I'm sure you and the Ghetto Cafe joke all the time back and forth about different things. There's light little jokes, but there's no disrespect back and forth.
No.
There's none of that because you've built a space where it's safe for all of us to be us, and we feel like friends and it feel like a community. And we built this space on we not having none of that. If some bot come in talking crazy, or some visitor come in saying something crazy just because, or somebody may think just because you may be attached to a certain type of podcast or whatever that they can be like that on this podcast, right?
Right.
For example, if I'm fresh off of, doing Diamond Lane stuff and Rap with Problem, whatever, then I started a podcast right after that. Then you could just bring the whatever you thought about me to that podcast, and I'm like, wait, hold up, I'm not. That's the rapping me. That's not this me, but this me is this me everywhere.
Right.
So yeah,
And then the other, like, I keep saying the other thing and like this, but it's easier to forgive somebody for being themselves than it is for them being a character.
you said okay. One more time.
It's,
One more time.
it's easier to forgive somebody for being themselves. I know this is who you are. I know this to be you. I
Mm.
know your strengths, your weaknesses, but you did this to be a jester. You
Ah,
did this in acting, like you did this as a character. Like you went out of your way to do this. You thought
right.
about this before you did it. Like you had to go into character mode to do this disrespectful or whatever I don't like type stuff. At least if I know it's you, I know that I can talk to you about what's going on and what was this? Why was this? And I know you have issues here, but you mean to tell me I got to deal with you and the other you?
Yeah, right,
I ain't willing
right.
to deal with two of yous. I want to deal with one of you. Like,
The one.
who is this? That's what I was saying about the back on Fig shit. Like, I never want to get to a place where people are having to say second guess what's real and what's not. I don't need anybody second guessing and saying like, wait, is Rios playing or is this real? Is he doing it? Like, that's a crazy place to be. You know what I mean? And
Right.
it's comfortable for some people, but just as me, I'm just saying for me and myself, I don't ever want to have to get shit misconstrued just because of the different personalities and different things that I do, or the hypocrisy, or being a hypocrite and doing one thing and saying one thing and doing another.
Star says, so look, you ain't dropped a fake bar in your rap ever? Of course. What? Look, man, I'm very vocal and saying part of the reason why my first song I ever did was called, well, not first song I ever did, but first song that went viral in a sense, especially for LA, what I was known for in the beginning, the song I had called Where You From. Now, Where You From, it implies it's a whole lot of gang shit going on. And it was around me, but I wasn't a gangbanger. But when you see the video, you would say, well, nigga, it looked like you a gangbanger.
Right.
I see a bunch of Crips in the video. I see 2 C's on the end of your name. I see rapping like this, and the hook say, where you from, where you from? So you would think you a gangbanger. But I wasn't, right? So for me, it's implied something without actually saying it. But to me, that's just a lie. I mean, a lot of people wouldn't look at it like that, but to me, it's just a lie. Because that type of implication can also get you killed. Because people will assume you from here, right? So, yeah, and rap, for sure. Most rappers have done it. Most rappers still do it. But most rappers have lied about some shit. They lied about a gang of stuff in raps.
Right.
A bunch of stuff in raps I lied about. And that's part of the reason why a little part of the reason why I stopped. More the business part was a major reason. But yeah. Do I gotta refresh my screen, Rios?
No, I'm just talking to the chat.
Oh, my bad, my bad.
So, like, let me answer Visionary Star. So, Visionary Star, like, so the thing is, like, rapping or whatever, you trying to, like, say rap and then podcasting. You think that somebody is saying that I have four double R's in my garage? Do you believe them when they say that? Or I did this and I went on a bank spree and took out 30 people. You think they telling the truth? You really think that 30 people got took out and that happened? It's like you have to use discernment and understanding. Like, dude, rapping is about this flossy type thing, but podcasting and streaming or doing whatever we're doing, you're supposed to be presenting you. Like, this is who I am. I'm not coming on here to be this. And rap is about ooze machismo and doing the most and like who can top each other and freestyle. When I'm battle rapping and I say something negative about you and degrade you, do you think I'm telling the truth about this person? Do you think
Right.
that they really so short that they could whatever? You know what I mean? Like, do you think that stuff is real? You got to use some discernment. You know what I mean? Like, and understanding. But this shit right here, this is where it's more dangerous here because I think sometimes you could get caught up into the character too. Like, you start believing the lie.
Yeah. And I don't want to, though this is a whole other podcast with talking about the facts about raps and stuff and whatever. That's a whole other podcast. I don't want to defer from what we were on.
Yeah. It's relevant though. Like, it's because people have to hear, like, you have to use like real world examples. I like to use like real world examples that is very relevant to people and they're paying attention to that right now. And it's like, that's an unfortunate event. It's an unfortunate thing when that is what it is. Like, when, damn, I can't even tell y'all how I feel and y'all believe me. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
Like, damn, like, nah, I saw his eye wink, so that's usually a lie.
That's usually a lie. And here's the thing, like he said, but as a teenager with a young mind, we believe some of the lies. Well, yeah, that's uh part of the fault on parenting also,
Mm-hmm.
and not believing everything you see, because at the same time you watched a bunch of movies that you didn't believe, that you believed to be fantasy, because they were on the movie screen. And then some people were actually scared of Chucky because they believe a dog can actually kill people.
Right.
So it depends on the kid and what kind of content they're taking in and who's talking to them, having a conversation with them after. When it comes to content, my whole thinking about if you do real content or not, whatever that means. I just want my content to be me for real, so I don't have to worry about not being me outside of that. I can
Right.
do me forever. I don't have to fake it. I don't have to do whatever. So I'll do me. I got out of rap, and when I say got out of rap, not got out of rap because I feel like I couldn't rap about real things. Like I said, the business part was why I left rap. That anytime you hear me rap, the first verse you'll probably hear me on, depending on when it's dropped. I did a record with Exhibit on his new album, it's supposed to be on the deluxe album. You'll hear me what I mean by how I rap then, how I rap now, and my content and what I'm rapping about. There ain't a lie told. I'll never tell a lie ever again or embellish something that ain't what it is in a rap ever again in my life. Just what it is. You know what I mean? I'm not here to, there's a point where something is entertaining, and then there's a point where if you rap about street shit long enough, maybe you probably send somebody to their grave being turned up off your raps. I never did that either. But what I'm saying is that content, same thing. I'm not here to portray a certain type of character on content and then lose my family over it or start arguing with Rios over it because I'm playing too much because now it's disrespectful because I'm not being a real me. Now Rios don't mess with me no more because I did something, I was crossing the line. I'm not risking all that to
No.
play a character in somebody else's game. I'm not doing all that, you know. So anyway, back to the topic at hand, man. I don't want to get lost off the subject. We gonna get somewhere else with that. What role does trust play when your job involves networking events and being around so many different people?
What does trust play in networking, having to be around
Yeah,
people?
yeah. What role does trust play when when your job involves networking events and being around so many different people? So I'll say in our case, we're men, obviously, and a lot of spaces deal with a lot of women, a lot of spaces. Sometimes podcasts, sometimes the podcast may be at night, and I'm not saying that most podcasts aren't. I'm not saying that, but
Yeah.
whatever the case may be, it's got to be a trust factor there. What role does trust play?
I feel like trust plays a big role. It's in the forefront of everything. Like it is like it's the priority because I've been in a relationship when trust was lost. And I realized how important that shit was when it was gone. And you have to make sure you have a solid foundation before you go out and start putting yourself out there and around temptation and doing those things. Like you gotta have trust. Without trust, it don't work. It doesn't work
Yeah,
unless
no
you just
respect
don't
there
care. I don't care what you do. Go do whatever. I'm not tripping. And that's
There's
when
no
you've lost the person.
for sure. There's no respect there if there's no trust. How could you trust? You know what I mean? I agree with you on that. No matter what, once you're in these spaces, it got to be that's got to be set in stone. There got to be a trust. There got to be trust there before you make your way in these spaces. To your point, you said the boundaries were set when you started.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? So you should not be in a lot of the different spaces just moving all loosely because and you don't got your affairs in order, basically.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? About what trust is. How do you and your spouse protect your relationship from negativity, gossip, or outside opinions?
How do we protect from gossip, outside opinions?
Or
By
negativity?
by not giving it power. Don't
Yeah,
give
straight up.
don't give it any power. Like you have, I treat that shit like the devil. You don't have no power over me.
Yeah.
Like your opinion, your thought of what we are does not affect what we got going on. What you eat don't make us shit. You ain't paying a damn bill in this house. And that's
Right.
not just for
Right.
the internet world. That's for family members. That's for friends. Hey, when was the last time you paid something in here? To where I need to be worried about what your concern is. Like if we're good in here, me and you are good. We ain't got to look outside to outside sources to hear their opinion or their like now constructive criticism from people that you care about and people that you love and
Right. That's one
advice
thing.
is one
Yeah.
thing. Like
Yeah.
advice is one thing, but I can see gossip and negativity coming from around the corner.
Fact.
What's this? What
Fact.
is talking about this going to do? What is this? What do you gain from this? What do you gain from bringing this darkness or this thought process into the? What's their point? And I've had to like gain my wife up about certain things.
Hmm.
And I have to tell her like, what's the position? What's the purpose, babe? Why? Read this. Read the situation. Protect yourself. Because my wife is a super nice person.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, you can't just let people get their claws in and try to take advantage of you or take or use you for their own gain. Are
Because of that
you
nice. Yeah.
are you the one that's helping everything happen? People are demanding things of you, this and that. Like you're being pulled every which way. You have to start remove yourself from the situation and look at the why. What's the why?
What is the why? Yeah. What is the why? And I think I'm the same way with it. I remember some years back. This was not necessarily about me and my spouse, but it was about my family. Family. There was a page on Instagram, and the page was a page dedicated to my family. Like they talk about my family. Like they had my brother posted, my
Really?
sister, my mom, yeah, my dad, and you could tell they didn't know what they were talking about. They kept talking about how rich I was and how I don't take care of my family. So I was like, okay, they don't know me, so that's out the way.
You definitely got to screw that.
So, but they kept saying that how they would. And what's funny was they would never talk about me directly. They would just talk about how his brother and his brother doing this. His brother live here. His brother he don't even help his brother. He rich, and his brother just his mama over there, paying bills. And he's so rich he don't even pay his mom bills. He ain't buy her a house. They would just say that, and it was like And so my brother and sister, where my sister's older than me, my brother's a year younger than me. They would be tripping on the internet, and I would tell them. I kept telling them, you can't get that attention because it never goes away.
Right.
Because you respond, it keeps the flame going. You have to ignore it. I said you have to ignore it. I know y'all not used to this. I understand. I get it. But you have to ignore it. And then eventually they ignored it, and then it just went away. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
But I'm telling them like, man, sometimes it just happen. And what happens when it do happen? You got to communicate, right? You got to. My wife hasn't necessarily dealt with. Not that I know of openly, where she dealt with a lot of like negative stuff being connected to me in any kind of way. But one reason why she's not on IG like that. She rarely is on Instagram ever.
Yeah.
So that's one reason she wouldn't see it if she did, if she was on there. I mean, if it did happen. And so we don't have to have that kind of conversation. But I remember having that conversation with my family, and I just had to converse about it. Like, look, you got to let it go. You got to ignore that. So, but never no direct problems. Like, it's something from the outside is hurting me and my wife, and something from the outside is making us fight on the inside in here.
Right.
So I've had dealt with that per se. So that's been cool. What advice would you give other married creators about keeping love first when the grind gets overwhelming?
Keeping love first when the grind gets overwhelming. Like,
Yeah. What advice would you give to other married creators about keeping love first when the grind gets overwhelming?
well, build that relationship out so that when you like, because it could be any grind. You could be grinding for anything, any
Yeah.
aspect, any foundation, not just
Excuse
internet,
me.
but any grind. You're supposed to share that weight with your significant other, your person, and share and say, "Damn, I'm feeling overwhelmed. I'm feeling stressed out. I'm feeling tired. I'm exhausted." Like you have to keep love first because who are you going to go to?
Right.
Who do you go to when times are rough and things are getting tough? And when things get tough and times are getting hard, your loved one is affected also because it's not just you going through it. You're not just having a rough time. You're not just having low income. We having low income. We having this trials and tribulations together. So you keep love first by keeping them on a pedestal and knowing that everything that happens here, it doesn't just happen to me, it happens to us. It's not a
Yeah.
me, it's a us. And I
For sure.
feel you have to look at your significant other as yourself. See yourself and your significant other and see what you do, how it affects them. And if you prioritize that, you'll see, like, okay, let's have this conversation. Or I need somebody to listen to me. I need to
Mhm.
talk to somebody. I need your guidance and actually be with somebody that this is it. Be with somebody where you value their opinion
Yeah.
and their advice, and you
Yeah.
actually love the person, you actually like the person, and like I know if I need to go somewhere to get some shit, I know exactly where to go. I'm just gonna roll over in bed and say, "Hey,
For
I
sure.
ain't got to go far."
Right. Right.
Roll up. Hey, guess what? Wake up. I've been thinking about this.
And you can trust the source.
Trust the source.
Did you have you ever had any let's say not regret, that's not the word I'm looking for. Reservation. Yeah, any reservation on for putting your wife, kids, or mom on camera ever?
Only them. They have reservations. You know what I mean?
Oh,
Like
okay.
my
Okay.
daughter has reservations. She's a teenager. You know what I mean? Like my
Yeah.
older
Yeah.
son, he's a young man. You know, they
Mhm.
have things that they think are cool and not cool. Xander wants to be on camera every opportunity he gets. You need me to come do a
Right.
cartwheel in the background? Like, I do. Like, I got my motorcycle. You want me to ride the motorcycle through the house? Like, chill out.
That's
And
funny.
then my wife, she's a professional. You know what I mean? She's got her own profession, and she has
Yeah. Yeah.
her concerns about being on camera or being too much involved. You know what I mean? Especially with how it was. But she has her own thing, and I have to realize, like, just because I want something,
Yeah.
I can't prioritize my wants over what somebody's willing to
For
give or
sure.
willing to do. And I don't want to do shit with nobody that they're not comfortable with.
Right. Yeah. I asked because you know it's like you be. I think I can speak for you in in this moment because we're so much fans also of who our loved ones are. Like you know,
Dude,
I'm such a fan of my wife. I'm such a
so
fan of my
dope.
son.
Like, he's so dope.
They're really dope people, right? And you
Like,
just be like, damn. I be telling my wife like that'd be so cool if we did like a podcast talking about marriage stuff or whatever, back and forth, or people can ask us questions, or if she jump on with me on something I'm already doing, right?
yeah,
But she'd be like, I don't know, like she really don't want to do it. You know what
yeah,
I mean? And to your point, I'm not gonna make her do nothing like that. Can't make her do nothing like that. But she's such a dope person. I want people to see why I love her so much.
right.
You know what I mean? I would think if you've seen her and talked to her, you would get exactly why I love her so much. And I think that's what it is for me a lot of times. You
Yeah.
know?
That's a real thing. I think that the world would benefit greatly from both of our women. You know what I mean? Like, I
Yeah,
really feel like the women in the chat, the men in the chat would really benefit from seeing or hearing my wife's perspective of the things that I talk about and my struggles. Like, that's really what we want to hear.
yeah,
Like, how did you deal with that? How did you get through that? How did you not give up? Because I have those same questions too. Like, you are a beast for dealing with who I was and being with me. Like,
yeah,
God had to be on your heart to be here, but the way that she doesn't give up and the way that her work ethic and her tenacity to just come and be here and be a provider, to be a helper, to be a lover is amazing. And she's smart as hell. You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like, and everybody loves, like you said, everybody loves you. Everybody loves you. People just be walking up to my wife, just telling them their whole life story. Like,
And I
because
think it's so dope.
she has like a warm spirit. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, your wife is awesome, man. Just even meeting her, you just that spirit you feel it off top. She was all even the very initial meeting. It was a friendly vibe off top. You know, sometimes with especially with husbands and their friends and wife meeting them,
yeah.
sometimes the wife can sense craziness, or if one of your homies ain't really for you, it's all
Hmm.
these vibes your wife can pick up. But she was off top. She was very friendly, very like, hey, how you doing? Well, welcoming. That's what it was.
Yeah.
Not like, oh, he got this nigga in my house. It was more so
The hell y'all got going
like,
on?
right. And I think that's so cool. And I know that and you made a good point too. Hearing what my hearing what my wife has to say about certain things I've already talked about, right?
Yeah.
If I talked about what happened with us in the past and with the whole infidelity stuff, it's one thing for me to speak on it. I can't speak for her. I can tell you what she said in
Mm-hmm.
the story of how it went. I never lied about that. I can tell you exactly how it went. But to hear her thoughts on it and how she got past that, or how she feeling in the moment, how she moved through, how she got past it, how she's working, how she's doing today with it being a thing in the past. Like, I think people can benefit from hearing that from her also. But also, to your point earlier, can't make her do nothing. You know what I mean? It's just a thing. I just know she's dope and that's it. You know what I mean? So, yeah, that's awesome. But I also, I'm, I'm so interested in seeing, like, it's the reason why I talk about why I love your IRL so much, because it gives people a glimpse of, we know Rios, and as he talks to here, like through the A and Waco show or one of your shows, but to see you in the element with your family is really, really dope. And it humanizes you again. You
Yeah.
know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
like, oh, that's dope. Yeah, and his family cool, and oh, we see him joke in the midst of his family, and what's that like? And oh, we see your mom has a, oh wait, your mom personality is cool. You know what I mean? Like we get to see that, and it is, and then also what makes it dope is we can see the pieces of your people in you,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's cool to see. So um, one last question, if I can, looking back, what has marriage taught you about yourself as a creator, and what has creating taught you about being married?
Say that one more time because I want to get the
Looking
first
back,
part.
what has marriage taught you about yourself?
Hmm.
One, and as a creator, what has creating taught you about being married?
So being married taught me about myself was the first thing that comes to my mind is that I was not complete before my marriage.
Mm,
I was not full. I was not finished. I was not who God wanted me to be yet.
mm,
You know what I mean? So I for sure wasn't complete, and I was empty. You know what I mean? Like I had
mm.
a emptiness in me, a hole in my heart or in my chest that wouldn't allow me to feel certain things. You know what I mean? Like for survival to get by.
Yeah.
And my
Is that
wife,
why you? That's why the Special Olympics. That's why you were in the, because the whole.
yeah, yes. And so, like, it allowed me to tap into a source that I didn't know existed. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't
Yeah.
know that was what I wanted or that I needed. And
Yeah.
it happened through just looking at her actions and looking at her walk and the things that she did and provided for me. It made me want to be that for her.
Awesome.
And so it was
Wow.
like, damn, I've been missing out on being I thought I was a good person. You know what I mean? I thought I was a good person, but I wasn't complete. I wasn't full yet. And then what create the creative space has taught me about my marriage is that my marriage is built on solidified rocks, like
Yeah.
stone. You know, it's just a constant
That.
reminder
Yeah.
of like how solid we are and how grounded we are. We may have issues, we may have our ups and downs and trials and tribulations, but there's nothing that is going to from nothing from the creative space that is going to knock our shit off its foundation. So it really let me realize like we can make it through a lot of stuff that no one tells you in marriage, but you get married, like, oh, but you're gonna have to deal with some content stuff. You got to deal with the
Right. Right.
artistic
Yeah.
this and that.
Yeah.
And we went with it, we freestyled it, and we got out and we got to where we are now. And it's made us stronger in all aspects of our marriage. It made us more confident.
Mm. That I love that. Even having the perspective on that is interesting, especially with content being so new.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But new can be a gift and a curse, right? It's new, so I don't have the data yet, or it's new, I'm fresh off the data, and I can
Right.
speak on that. For me, marriage taught me to not. You can't be selfish. right? It taught me to care a bit more than everything, but because you know how it can be coming up. It can be just about yourself.
Right.
Get money, get money, get money. You're about self. Marriage taught me to be patient. Um, be patient for sure, and discipline about knowing when to shut up. Right, because you get to some conversations where it ain't about a checking. It's more so like this didn't need to be said. That was all ego.
It's just gonna make you feel good. Saying this is just gonna make you
That's
feel
it.
good.
It's gonna make you feel good, and then how it's gonna make her feel good. It's gonna turn on you. It's gonna because and now look at now what you feel now, right? You know what I mean? Like so marriage taught me was teaching me always patience, always. You know, it's tough. Marriage is tough, but I think what's the respect that comes from two people actually chose to commit to one another under the eyes of God. For me, that's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful sacred promise, and and so it taught me that I can commit to something forever, like I do my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ,
Yeah.
right? And this is my bond. My bond with my wife is also my bond until I leave this earth.
Yeah.
So definitely taught me that. Now, as far as content creating, um, creating taught me about being married. I think well, this didn't necessarily teach me about getting married. Me being married taught me how to be this way on camera, and that is being transparent and honest and vulnerable on these platforms that I'm on. I'm talking about specifically relatable and fighting depression. I'm
Hmm.
gonna do those because that is who I want to be. I want to. The reason why I want to always tell my story is because I need to say it out loud or have it written down somewhere, just so I can show people how God fixed it later,
Yeah.
how God changed it later, and then so you can't say, "Oh, you just made that up." Like, no, I'm gonna show you where I wrote this down, or it's a video where I talked about how my life is in. Let me say this right now. This is a prime example. While we're here, and I'm not gonna go into detail. My life right now, this is crazy. I'm gonna use this for an actual example, but I'm doing it to timestamp this moment. My life right now, technically, depending on how you view it, is in shambles. Right? I'm technically not good, but I am good. Right? For a more powerful reason. But as I do this podcast, I came in not feeling well because of what's been going on last 2 or 3 months in my life. And it's tough. Life is lifing and it's kicking my butt. And also, the text I've been getting while I'm doing this podcast is technically would be messing me up if I wasn't doing this podcast. But having to drown myself in this conversation, thinking about my wife, thinking about Rios and his responses and how they're helping me also is getting me through these things, right? And even at the end of it, these problems haven't stopped or turned over yet, right?
Mm.
But the reason why, this is why it's important to say these things out loud. The reason why I haven't folded on camera or broke down on camera or the reason why I still hit up Rios to see if we're gonna do this podcast today is because that I can't let the enemy get me down because the devil loves when you're stagnant, shameful, in fear, depressed, stressed. That's when the devil makes his biggest moves, right? But he can't have it because I'm here to tell you that God is good. And God is a great God. And God is a God that's going to pull me out of this exact moment right now soon enough. Even if right now it gets darker, even if right now my life goes more into shambles after this, even if right now it gets lower and lower and lower, I am a believer in answer prayers, and I am a believer also that that God's going to come through and take care of it, right?
Right.
So the reason why content helps me in my marriage also is because I'm so vulnerable on content because I am a believer that your things and how you show up and how you conquer those things, especially when using God, having God in your life, is how you help people.
Right.
That's how you help people. That testimony is going to help somebody. Rio's talking about how he's strong-willed and how he is with his wife and his family, and how he is in dark situations. He can be the one light in the room, right? That is going to help somebody who hear that to know that they can be the light in the room. They can move with discipline. They don't have to be out here fooling around when they got a beautiful wife and kids at home. They they can just create content, be dope, and still be considered the cool kid,
Right.
right? So I point all that out to use a live example of that's how content creating has helped my marriage because I'm so vulnerable and I understand that it's all going to change for the better. So instead of canceling this podcast and falling into depression, I've told myself I'm going to be consistent. So
Yeah.
this is me doing my podcast, showing up with a smile that you didn't know something was going on, all this stuff was going on in my life right now, and because I understand that God is good, He's going to change it.
Yeah.
So excuse me. So in that way, that's how content creating has contributed to my marriage in a sense. It's just a reflection on be you and be honest about who you are, and it's going to show up for you in all other areas also.
Right.
So yeah. So, but yeah, man. I appreciate you, bro. Allowing us to run the pod like this today
Yeah.
with questions and talk about. I think, like I said, we gonna have our ones and we joke and we laugh and we do all these things, but also I feel like talking about who we are as men in this space and maybe some of the misconceptions or trouble with being married men in this space where the space can get a little wild depending on where you decide to record, but how you go in it is how you come out of it, right? And that's what you were saying earlier, like knowing what you're built for, and I appreciate you, bro, and the way you answer the question and always being vulnerable, always being transparent because our community is better for it. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
It's definitely
Absolutely.
better for it. So this was a good one. This is a good podcast today.
And
It was
it's
good
like
today.
the community deserves the truth. You know what I mean? Like, who do your trials and tribulations help if you don't share what you've been through? You know what I
Right.
mean? Like, this is God puts you through things as an example. You know what I mean? Testimony. It's a testimony. Like,
Yeah,
we here as vessels. I'm just trying to be as good as I can be today.
for sure. And how they gonna pray for you if they don't know?
Right. That part.
You know what
That
I'm
part.
saying? So um, yeah, man. Hey, man. Thanks to the community who hung out with us today. We appreciate all who had to say anything, left a comment, a like, and don't forget to like, subscribe, and comment, please. That
Right.
helps me out in the algorithm. It helps me move up a little bit, shake a little things up, and puts me in front of pretty cool people. You know, yeah, man. I I appreciate this. Here's the thing. I appreciate this podcast more than y'all know. Like for me, don't get me wrong. I'm actually in therapy also, but this is also therapy for me. These moments, these couple of hours that we be on and we be chopping it up or laughing, having fun, whatever. It gives me time to get out my head. You know what I mean? And sometimes the thing in your head, the thing that goes on in your head, is not really real.
Right.
Now I'm not saying that what I be going through sometime or what I'm going through at the moment ain't real. I'm just saying that it can't kill me. It won't kill me ever. So if that's not the case, why you on it, right? So boom. That's why I'm like, well, let me call Rios to see if you want to do relatable because we gotta. I think a dope show will get my wheels turned on something else
Yeah.
instead of just focusing on the things we focusing on. I Breezy, I appreciate you. I'm still gonna do my fighting depression because I'm in constant fight but I'm in constant battle to win. I be kicking depression's butt. Even though he be showing up wanting to fade, I be kicking his butt. So I appreciate that for watching those too.
Yeah.
Um,
More
what you
power
got
to
coming
you.
on? What you got coming on Any more positives this week we should be looking out for? R files, anything else you got going
Imperfect
on?
perspective is going to be Friday, and
Oh
maybe
no, she's doing on Friday now.
yep, Friday.
Okay,
Imperfect perspective. Possibly Syndicate this week. Maybe we'll see how that goes.
okay,
Um, I always want to do an R files, but I don't want to make any promises. And
yeah.
but it
What's
just
the, what's the thing about the R file? Is it scheduling or is it content?
it's scheduling and energy. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
be having so much going on just as a dad, as a husband, like building this house out and trying to get everything together, and then doing
yeah.
the AM wake up show. And like, if I just adding to it, I feel like I haven't even mastered what I'm doing right now without adding to it. You know what I mean? I want to master
Right.
what I got going on now with clips and editing without adding too much more to it. But maybe I need to just be a little bit lighter, a little bit more like, hey, let it just be whatever it is. Just go live whenever you can. If you got low energy, you got low energy. But I get out of soccer practice at 9:30. Xander's got practice Monday through Thursday. Zaya's got
Oh,
practice
okay,
Tuesday through Thursday. And
okay.
then Saturday, we got Saturday and Sunday soccer and basketball. And then on top of that, being a husband.
Yeah.
Then on top of that, trying to do the AM wake up shows and this and that.
Full time
It's a lot.
contributor. Yeah.
And it's and then I still got family. I still got people that I try to support outside of this that people don't even know. And
Yep.
like it's you can only do so much. You know what I mean? And I'm not being hard on myself about it. I've really like given myself grace. Like I ain't tripping. If it happens, it happens. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But just know that what you guys see on camera is the least of what I do.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think for you, which I think you're doing well with, well, it sounds like you are, is uh, we talked about grace earlier. You got to give yourself grace too. You know, I wouldn't want to put unnecessary deadlines on things that don't necessarily have to be handled.
Mm-hmm.
And if your health is at cost, I'm saying physical, mental,
Yeah,
whatever,
yeah,
then something's got to take a back seat. Also,
yeah.
it don't mean it's over. It's just because look, you do so many things already on your own. You got this part, bruh. I'm the reason why I asked you, you sure you want to do this is because you got a podcast every day, Monday through Friday, and then after one of those podcasts, you go straight into this one,
Mm-hmm.
right? Which I appreciate that you show up and you show up on time and you handle your business and you're doing your thing. It's high energetic all the way from beginning to end. But I know it's a lot. And then you still have you with the girls, and then you R files, and then if Ace Boys has been back on regular schedule, then there's that, right? So I always want you to take your time, right? Know what you can and can't do, and then you execute as you how you see fit.
Right.
Or make R files a thing where if R file, and I'm not trying to,
I'm
I
listening.
apologize to anybody fans of R files. I'm not saying take it away, but if there's a thing where R files is a dope thing, and you know it's really dope to do, but you do have these other things you have to get to, then make R files a quarterly thing or bi-weekly, bi-monthly thing,
Mm-hmm.
or every other week. If you say if you do R files and make it a big thing once every other week or once a month,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
that be that because you do so much other stuff. It ain't like they ain't seeing you, right? It's like you got so many other things. They see you at A and Wake Up Show. They see you on Relatable. They gonna see you on with the girls. And they gonna see you on Ace Boys Worldwide. So it ain't like we ain't getting a Rios fix,
Mm-hmm.
right? But also, you know that the R files is a good idea and very dope. You've done it before. It gets and people are obviously are looking forward to it. They've been asking about it. Um, maybe you can do that. Maybe don't make it to where it got to be weekly or
Yeah.
run, but do like a buy. So I don't know, but change the schedule so it don't affect you in a way where your health is being is in play.
Compromise. Yeah.
Yeah, compromise. Um, real quick, let me answer this question. We can be out.
Okay.
Or if you got some any comments on it too, my brother McAdoo says, "How do you trust someone after you have lost their trust? How do you not worry about them, quote unquote, get their leg back?" For me, I don't worry about them getting their leg back um, because getting their leg back means that you did something first, right? Because That's the only way somebody can get their lick back because somebody got their lick first, right? Now, how do I not worry about that? Sometimes we put ourselves in situations where we have to, we have to, we have to, right? We have to like, if I walk into somebody and slap them in the face and then just turn around and walk away, I should be guarding myself for what's about to come to the back of my head, right?
For sure.
I should have to assume that somebody behind me about to get real close and about to knock me out or knock me on my butt because I slapped somebody in the face and just turned around and walked away. So, one, if you did, don't do that again, right? whatever that is, and you can't control what somebody else does. What I would do is I pretty much leave it in God's hands most of the time, like especially for something like that. I don't. First of all, I don't have that kind of problem with. I don't get into it with people like that, but I usually give it to God. I pray about it, give it to God, and then let Him protect you, because stressing about things that you can't even understand or when it's coming, or you have no control over what that person is going to do. So there's that. I don't know. I'm not maybe that much of a help, but anything you got to say about it, Rios?
I would say from the perspective of being the person that caused somebody to lose their trust, stop expecting somebody to be a welcome mat. Don't expect somebody to be a welcome mat that you could just walk all over and then tell them that they're not what they are and you're not doing to them what you're doing to them. No one is here for you to just take advantage and rub your dirty boots on. You know what I mean? Time and time again.
Right.
Like you got to expect somebody to stand up for themselves and say, not only do I not trust you, I also deserve better.
Yeah.
Yeah. And be aware of that. Like what, like in your actions, what you're doing to this person, why do you feel as if you could just do this to them and continue to do that? And if somebody has completely lost their trust in you and they're not trying to gain their trust back in you, sometimes you gotta go separate ways.
Yeah.
And you, to gain the trust back in somebody, you have to appreciate and cherish them and value that person. If that is not there, the trust will never be there because you don't even care about me. You don't even, why would you stand up to do the right thing for me when you don't give a damn about me?
Right.
So that's one way. But then if you're the welcome mat that's just getting walked all over and somebody's telling you that the mud on the bottom of their shoes is gold, you got to dust yourself off and say, I choose to be something else. I choose to be something else. God has made me not to be your welcome mat. No one is going to trample me. No one is going to run me over. I demand more for myself. There's two outlooks on it. You know what I mean? Like you have to realize and put a perspective in it. Like, what am I doing? Maybe what I've done to this person is beyond healing. Mm-hmm. You may have done some stuff that is terrible. I don't know how you lost the trust. What'd you do? There's some things that you may not make it back from. But I would say don't treat people like a welcome mat and then be like, well, you don't even trust me. Yeah, you think? Yeah. Like
because of what you just did.
I don't know if that's the case or whatever, but sometimes we got to have common sense and really just like step away and be like, there's a reason that this is. Let me take some accountability and know that to gain the trust back is like a 3-year fight or more. Are you willing to fight for 5 years to gain the trust back? Are you willing to do all the hard work and not be appreciated? And isn't that to gain the trust back? You don't just gain the trust back just when it's just like, hey, I want you to trust me.
Right.
You did 3 years of work to lose the trust. What do you think it's going to take to get the trust back?
Man, damn. Yeah, that's real, man. It's just one of them things where we watch how we treat people. I'm not blaming you, Mac, at all. I don't know what happened, what the situation is, but yeah, you just go. First of all, I just leave people alone. That's one thing, but I don't worry about the rest. I put my faith in God, and then He'll protect me or allow me to go through something as He sees fits.
He might mess around and protect the other person.
Yeah, right, right. That's a real thing too. I don't know what happened. I don't know what happened.
I'd be like, yeah, she good. You gotta be careful. Like, hey, I'm playing, but I'm being serious.
Right.
God works in mysterious ways, and God's will be done.
It's real. Man, well, we thank y'all for coming in today, man. Relatable Podcast, man. We appreciate y'all for listening, for the questions, the responses. Rios, my good brother, thank you as always for showing up as you always do.
Absolutely.
Awesome,
Thank
man.
you for having me,
Awesome
man.
responses. First of all, we talking like we got a separate show, but also,
Yeah.
also, um, um, I love the fact that we can always go there when it's time to go there.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
For
I said,
sure.
we're vulnerable to the honesty, transparency. We're better for it. I think the community is better for it when we get to have these conversations. So it's really a dope thing, man. We appreciate y'all. So, what you got tomorrow? Oh, you wake up in the morning.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yep.
time?
7:30 in the morning.
7:30. You think like whatever I start to choose. 7:30 a.m. to about what 10? 9:30? 9:30?
Like 9:30, 9:30, sometimes 10. It depends on
Okay.
how it's flowing. You know what I mean? Like I try not to like box myself in to be
Right.
meeting a number
Right.
or meet a
Yourself a
time.
little
Like,
room, both ends.
yeah.
Yeah. And wake up show every morning, 7:30 to run out. You know, just make sure you up. If you on your way to work, are you working out at the gym? You got your headphones on, or you got the YouTube popped up? Go ahead and tap my good brother Rios for the AM wake up show. Homeroom right after that, 10 a.m. homeroom every morning except Wednesdays. Why? Because we do relatable on Wednesdays. Homeroom every morning, 10 a.m. Actually, I can do homeroom before relatable too.
Yeah, you
I
can.
do homeroom for an hour and then go right to yeah, maybe I'll do that. I got homeroom in the morning, 10 a.m. Tap in with me. We kicking it, we kicking back, kicking our feet up. Get your coffee, get your drink, get everything going while we relax and get everything out the way early in the morning before we get our day started. And the R files will be back soon enough. They keep asking, that's why I said that. The R files will be back soon enough. We appreciate y'all for turning in, man. Thank y'all. Rios, anything to say to the people before we go?
Just God bless y'all, man. Go out there, be good, live a life of servitude, find your purpose, and go.
That was a good outro, bro.
I've
All
been
right, we
working on
out, y'all.
that.
We out.